This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. We're 5 innings up, 5 innings down at historic Rickwood Field as the beautiful afternoon in Birmingham is starting to turn into a gorgeous evening as we've had a great showdown, 8-4, lots of big plays throughout this game, and we still got 2 innings left to go of this showcase, and Team Robinson will look to add on to their advantage, and they'll start with Rutledge in this inning as the class of 2027 player from Fort Mill, South Carolina, the commit to the Gamecocks, will lead off the inning.
And Kendrick had to come in and put out the fire last inning. He gets the chance to start a clean inning here.
Starts off with a swing and a miss strike. It's actually interesting because Team Robinson has had chances, despite already putting up 10 hits and 8 runs. They had chances to make this a lot worse in both the second inning and the 5th inning. They had the bases loaded before their sides were ultimately retired. So that was opportunity that was potentially left, and it has left the door just a little bit open for Team Aaron, but Team Robinson could have a chance to close it in this frame with maybe 2, 3, or maybe 4 more runs.
Yes, Team Robinson could have blown the doors off of this game with one more big hit in any one of those situations with the bases loaded. But let's give credit to Team Aaron. Their relief pitchers have come in out of the bullpen and they've minimized the damage. You saw Kendrick do it last inning, and now he gets the chance to come out and put up a 0 and get his team back in the dugout.
There's a tapper on the ground to the shortstop. Fielded well, and the throw is in time. Nice play.
Nice play by the shortstop. Good hustle down the line. Made that play a whole lot closer than the shortstop probably wanted it to be.
That was Blake Ragsdale on the play. And that is 1 away in the inning for Kendrick. So this brings in the next batter, the number 14 for Team Robinson. It is Parker Robinson. It's the player that scored the first run of the day way back in the 2nd inning for Team Jackie. He was driven in on an RBI single from Aiden Salinas. See Kendrick there, son of World Series champion Howie Kendrick.
His fastball slider change. His changeup is probably his best pitch.
What stands out to you about his changeup?
His changeup, it has really good tail, late action down at the bottom of the strike zone, and it works well because he throws his fastball to the inner third to righties, which now gets their feet moving, and now he's able to throw that changeup down and away to get swing and miss.
Owen has participated in the Hank Aaron Invitational since 2023, so stacking multiple years of experience. He's also participated in the Breakthrough Series for 4 years, Dream Series for 3 years, Program Series for 2 years as well, so just so much experience there, not only from his dad, but also from his younger brother who's on his way up too, Tyson, who's 15 years old.
It's really important for the touch points of these players to be able to come to multiple events.
That ball rolls foul.
To come to multiple events, it allows them to continue that development year in and year out. And from a staff standpoint, that's what's great for us because we get to see that maturation. We're not going long periods of time without seeing the player again.
Parker Robinson up at the plate for Team Robinson. The Hank Aaron Invitational, this is the culmination of weeks of work. Try to be selected for that top group of players. And you got to imagine the competition has to be very stiff with 200-plus players having to narrow down that field to 44. What you see donned on the hats, the number of Hank Aaron, it's got to be a difficult decision.
It's a very difficult decision. And you look at the 44 kids that were selected, yes, they are extremely talented, extremely elite. But as one of the coaches that were there this week, you can literally swap out these 44 for 44 kids that's not here, and you would get the same quality of baseball that we see here today.
And Bo, do you have any advice for any players that maybe didn't make the cut this year but are going to have another chance next year to try to make that top 44?
I think it's motivation. I think when you find yourself in this space and for whatever reason you're not chosen and you're not selected, I think it's motivation for you to get back home and get on the grind and understand that one of the things that coaches look for that really excites evaluators and coaches is when they see a player improve from one year to the next. So the quickest way to put yourself into that conversation is to show up at the next event and the players go, oh man, did you see such and such and how much better he's gotten from last year to this year or from this program to that program? So my advice to any of those players that are sitting here, or you're sitting at home and you're watching this game and you're saying, man, I wish I would have gotten selected. Don't take that as final. Understand that you will have another opportunity. You just want to prepare and put yourself in the best position to capitalize when you get back into the space.
Team Robinson ahead 8-4, top of the 6th inning, and right now who's considered the hero of the game, Jahir Jensen, who had the go-ahead 2 RBI single back in the 5th inning. He is up at the plate now trying to add on to what's a terrific day and a team high for RBIs, tied with Daniel Gonzalez, who also has 2 ribbies today for Team Robinson. And a called strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. But yeah, I think that's always important as well. A lot of these players that are even selected right now for the top 44 weren't selected their first time that they were at this invitational. So in a way, it's a bit of a breakthrough for them to get that first opportunity to compete on the national stage.
Yes, and when you talk to these players that were selected, there is a great sense of gratitude because they understand just how difficult the selection process is. And to be one of those 44 means a lot to them.
Count is 3 balls and 2 strikes with a man aboard for Team Robinson.
This is a good spot. This is a good spot for Kendrick to throw his change up here, try to get him out in front, roll over and get a ground ball.
And with the 3-2, and he got him swinging. Strike 3.
Went with the heater away.
That takes down Jahir Jensen as we'll take another look at this pitch.
That's a good fastball. You see that late tail. That's the same plane that his changeup comes off of. The fastball moves away from a righty. That changeup comes off that same plane, and the bottom just falls out of it.
Next opponent for Kendrick is Lonnie Jackson, the 5th, who takes strike 1. From Elk Grove, California, attending Franklin High School going into his senior season. Standing at 6'4", 215 pounds. I think that's another aspect that's so interesting with watching these high school athletes is for a lot of these players, this is just the beginning as there will be more strength and conditioning opportunities. They'll continue to grow and mature with age. So even though we're seeing guys about 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", they might not be done growing, might not be done putting on muscle, and that can lead to added velo and everything as that's going to retire the side on a nice pitch from Kendrick. We'll talk a little bit more about that thought when we get to the next frame. Bottom of the 6th coming up next. At the old stomping grounds of the Birmingham Barons, an area that was the place to be for the black community in Birmingham, Alabama from 1920 to 1963. And now it's that again here in 2026 as we have a new pitcher on the mound. It's Michael Hayes. He's a Houston guy, and I know that resonates with you, Bo.
Yes, it resonates, and this is a fine young man. I have known this young man since he was probably 13 years old. It's an electric fastball. He has great mound presence, extremely athletic.
It looks like he forgot his pitch comp, so we'll put that back in.
He's had tremendous success at his high school and has been on a circuit for a few years. And he's a well-rounded young man, does great things in the community. Excited to see him pitch today.
Yeah, as you continue to see him develop, he's also been noticed by not just you, but by some colleges, as he has drawn interest from a couple of the local schools around the area, including Houston, as well as Texas Tech, Texas A&M, and Texas as well, too. So some notable schools that are interested in what he can bring, and now he has a chance to showcase what he's got in front of the scouts, and starts with ball one to Lorenzo Davis, the first baseman, who had an RBI back in the first inning for Team Aaron. There's a ground ball. This goes to the shortstop. Sabino is in time. And Sabino, he's a guy where you said it just looks effortless.
It looks really effortless. You see him attack that ground ball playing downhill. He fielded the ball and it's exchange and release all in one motion. When you start to think about playing shortstop in the big leagues and how the game starts to speed up, these are fundamental mechanics that it doesn't matter where he's at. That plays here in Rickwood. It plays in the big leagues. It plays in college. He is a polished shortstop.
Next batter for Hayes to face is Jake Acosta with his second at-bat of the day. He reached on an error back in the fourth inning. And he'll take a look at a strike.
That's a good fastball. Does a great job of hiding the ball with his mechanics and gets down the mound and the ball just explodes on you.
How important is that of hiding those mechanics and hiding those little details when you're facing a batter in the batter's box?
When you start to think about, pitch sequence and the ability to tunnel the baseball, that's what keeps the hitters off balance. When you are able to throw your fastball, your slider, your changeup, and it comes out of the same tunnel, that pitch there, when you start to look at it from a hitter standpoint, it looks like a fastball until the ball starts to get up on you, and now all of a sudden you get that sharp break with the slider. That's one of the things that I've recognized with the development of all of these kids, not just the physical ability, that's a strike to ball slider right there that came out of the same tunnel, is their ability from a fundamental standpoint of having sound mechanics and repeatable deliveries.
Here's the 2-2. That one flared to the right side, but unplayable. It's foul. One of the other lessons that I noticed on MLB Develops Instagram was one from 15-year MLB pitching coach Lester Strode. And he said, as a pitcher, tempo matters. Don't let your defense get flat. It also allows you to find a good rhythm for yourself. And I've noticed he's pitching with a pretty good tempo right now.
Most of these young pitchers, when you think about the clock and the rules that have been implemented at the major league level, the preparation that these young men are going through is preparing them for the big leagues. That's why you see they get the ball and they go. Even though you don't have those particular rules in place here, their mindset is that that's where I want to be. So you see them self-imposing themselves and implementing those type of rules as they go through their progression.
New baseball thrown out to Michael Hayes as he looks to try to put away Jake Acosta as Team Aaron tries to eat into this deficit. Bottom of the sixth inning, trailing 8-4.
Here comes the slider here. Oh, he stayed with the heater.
And that one's popped up and unplayable. A couple souvenirs for the kids in attendance. This is one where you'll get your steps in with the way the ballpark is, and the steps are of varying degrees of sizes, so it always keeps you on your toes if you're one of the kids running for it. There you go. Got it and toss it to a younger kid. That's awesome.
It's a great souvenir to take home.
We'll do the 2-2 again. And I'll sound like a broken record. We'll stay at 2-2. Again, just the continued success. We talked a little bit about some of those major leaguers that have started off in the Hank Aaron Invitational, but also there's some guys in the minor leagues who have worked their way up. 2-2. Got him looking. Called strike three. Nice strikeout there for Hayes.
And that was more of a cut slider. It didn't really have the tilt that his slider would normally have, but it was able to kind of more of a sweeper that stayed on plane and I think the cut kind of shocked the hitter there and froze him, locked him up for a called third strike.
Yeah, it's interesting you noted that slider difference because we saw some pitchers earlier in the game kind of throw more of a gyro type of slider, and then now you see one that's a little bit more like a sweeper.
Yes, and that one was more side to side, and I think the hitter picked up the spin, but he picked it up late because it was more side to side and didn't have that tilt to it.
So Blake Ragsdale up at the plate, 2 away in the inning for Team Aaron. With the sand in the hourglass starting to run thin with just 4 outs to work with. And that's a ball, 2 balls, and no strikes. But going back to those minor leaguers that are getting up there, Termarr Johnson, I actually saw him last week in Columbus when the Indianapolis Indians took on the Columbus Clippers, and he was doing great in the leadoff spot for Indianapolis. He played in this game. You have George Lombard, who's one of the top prospects right now for New York. I just missed him, actually, when he was with Scranton Wilkes-Barre because he was on the injured list, but he's back playing, and he's been really impressive, and he'll be soon in the pinstripes.
I know opening day we look at the numbers and it says 6.8, but those numbers are going to start to drastically increase because of the programming that is taking place in the number of blacks that we have in the minor league system that will find their way to the big leagues.